after the market opens again, after the Forex opens again, you'll see this fall down to here, and then we'll see that the new pattern for the next day will be used. But there's something we can do about this because the market's closed, and then when it opens, you'll just see, probably just see it here. But the main point is that the way it used these regions, this was a region, this is kind of like a parallel region right here. This is a converging region, a shrinking region, and this is an expanding region right here, a diverging region. And you can see that the retracement top of this is at the intersection, and it's respecting that those boundaries. And the maximum for this day, which is called the high of day, is right at this trend. Was right at this trend boundary. And also that most of the price action that for the day filled on this when this boundary was totally diverged in relation to this at a time when this boundary was bigger than this one. And when did that happen? So like we said, that happened before the Asia session. So if this price after I think about 4 GMT, if you go about 4 GMT, even at this point right here, right, very early on in the market, right, 20, this is about 27 pips to 19 to 20. So already right here at 4 GMT, it was already known that this region is shrinking, is smaller than this region. So most of the price action will happen in this region. It would either happen in this region or would happen in this region, but it wouldn't happen in this one. So how I intended to trade this region was at a boundary, it was at an edge. So it chose not to use this edge, the risk edge, but to use the target edge, which I intended to be a target. So when it got to an edge, that's when it decided to fill the reward region. Okay, so that's what happened that day. And then, like I said yesterday, that if it enters this risk region, then it will either return to fill this, or it will try to fill this region. And I think it was just too late in the day for it to try to fill back up again, right? Because you could see, like, if you have the New York exchange is at like 18, this is at like 17 GMT, 18 GMT. So that was only 6 hours left in the 24 hours. And usually New York session is over already. So this was already, all sessions were over. So there's no way it would have any momentum, usually. Sometimes rarely it would, but not usually, no. So if it enters this other side, then that means it intends to use whatever momentum it has to hit the next target, and use this as the risk region and hit this as the next target. And you can see that it used that as resistance, and it continues back down into that target. So that's what happened for that day. Okay, sorry about that. So I like to look top down, so from the longest view to the shortest view. Obviously the shortest view is going to affect the price more in the shortest term than the longest view. The longest view affects the price more in the longer term. So obviously, of course, the longest view says that the price is going up, but it'll take a long time for that. But it's nice to see the views. So we've got the price right here, and in the short term, price is pointing down. There's a lot of attraction to the downtrend, but in the middle term, there's also some slighter downtrend, and in the long term, you can see that there's uptrend attraction. Okay, so zooming in more, you can see this more. The short term has got shorting attraction. The midterm has got downtrend attraction, but on the upside. And longer than that is, again, the longer term is obviously will require uptrend. So, but that is about 1,500 pips away. So that's out of range. So even though that acts as, we know where the attraction is, but it's 1,500 pips, it's not going to apply for us today. This is 260 pips. Even that is kind of far away. We know that there's some upward attraction. So if you're doing long-term planning, then you can plan for that. You can take that into consideration, like if you just want to buy only or something. But again, there it is. We have a closer look. It's about 300 pips away, 310. And so we've got a lot of very weak support and resistance, short-term support and resistance that we're using right now. That's pretty much the point. So the longer term is support on the short trend, and the shorter term is resistance on the uptrend on buy. So and that target right there is that uptrend on the buy is about 55 pips, so that's not that far away. So it's possible that what we're looking at, this, you see the price action is in this channel right here, this downtrend channel. So it's very strong. That should be a very strong influence on the price. It is a very immediate influence on the price, so definitely be ready for that. And that has a lot to do also with, like I said, this price will fall to here. So there's, if I'm looking more into this, I'm thinking about this divergence right here. But if you look closer, you can see that there's also a convergence here, a shrinking here of this region. You see that this region is shrinking. So we've got a few regions here. And the price is currently in this region. So there's a few things can happen. There's nothing under this. Okay, we have no support in this on this region right here. This is an open region, and so a few things can happen. This region obviously is contracting, converging. So the price is about 10 pips away from this boundary. So it could fall under this boundary. If it falls under this boundary and it stays in this region, it could just keep falling, free falling in this region. So if it comes into this region, then you should stop out if it's if it crosses this boundary right here. Now the other thing you could do while it's in this region is it could cross into here, into this region from this side. And if it does that, we know that this is diverging, this is converging, this is shrinking, this is expanding. So you know, at any point, even this point, this is like, again, 3 GMT, it's about 17 pips to 11. So very early in the Asia session, even before half of the Asia session, it could target this as you could be in the buying, the buy trend and target this. This would be the first target. After that, after it crosses this becomes the risk region, and this becomes the reward region. So I think at any point, this is a reward region. This is 40 pips to 30 pips. So that's very easy to see. So if it crosses into here, this will be the first target, and then this will be the second target. So this will be the first target, and then this is the stop line, the stop boundary. you know, after this intersection here. But before this intersection, then you'd use this as a stop boundary. And if it crosses this edge, then this becomes the reward target, and this, what do we have, the stop? This will be the stop. This still remains the oh wait. No, so if it's targeting this, if it crosses into this boundary, then this is the target, and this is the stop. After this intersection, if it crosses this boundary, then this is the stop, this is the target, and this is the stop. If it crosses into this boundary. So I hope that made sense. I think it was a little bit confusing, but you just followed the which region is smaller and bigger, right, at that time. So, and that pretty much is pretty clear after 3 GMT, after the 3 GMT. This really, it's not, and 3 GMT is like 1 hour ahead of 3 GMT, of GMT, because this platform, but I think that should make sense to you, and I'll just leave it at that, and we'll see what happens. So I'm also trying to make sense of what happened yesterday and implement that into this day. So that was based off of that was time-based trading last session. So if I am considering time-based, the time base, right, last time what happened is that we didn't have this as a we didn't have any upper boundaries here, and so I thought that because this region after this so and so time, this region is bigger, so perhaps the price will slide on the minimum here and then buy to this target. But so actually what happened is that after a certain time it was floating up, and after a certain time it fell to fill the region. But that at that time yesterday we didn't have this upper region, this region here. So I think that's going to make a difference. And because yesterday the only regions it had were something like this and this region, but now we also have this region, and I think that will work on the decision making. So what if it didn't? Let's just say that this wasn't here. If it didn't, then what would have happened? Like what happened yesterday is that the price just floated up here, and then when it was time, after it was time that this region became bigger than this region, then the price fell. And I think that happened because, like I said, I think that happened because we didn't have a playable region above it. But since now there is a playable region above it, I think that if price floats above here again, it probably would go this way. It would probably fill this region because this is the bigger region. And you can see like that's 38 to 30. So this is the bigger region. If price floats up here again and does what it did yesterday, then after a certain time this region is bigger than this one. When this region is bigger than this one, the one under it, I think actually it will float up and to fill this region because this one is bigger. And it's also practical target. It's within reach. So that's important, right? It's a region within reach. So it would make sense, right? That it can do that. So if it's probable that it can do it, then let's see if it does it. So we'll have to see what happens. So I'll hold the conversation to that, and see what happens.